Beth's bold move leaves everyone stunned. Dutton Ranch Episode 7. In this thrilling recap of Dutton Ranch Season 1 Episode 7, Beth makes a bold move that shocks the ranch and left everyone wondering what will happen next. The Dutton family's future could be permanently altered as tensions mount, long-standing disputes resurface, allegiances are put to the test, and unexpected choices are made. The stakes are raised in Episode 7 when Beth Dutton takes one of her most audacious risks to yet, shocking both the formidable 10-Petal Ranch and the Dutton Ranch. Tensions are at an all-time high as Beulah Jackson gets ready to announce her successor at a significant ranch celebration, leaving everyone to question who will eventually be in charge of the area's future. In the meantime, Rip keeps trying to start over in Texas, but the Duttons can't achieve harmony because of dangerous rivals and long-standing foes. Rob Will's comeback raises the possibility of another bloody battle and the eventual return of old secrets to haunt all those involved. While Beth is at the center of a power struggle that could change the future of both ranches, Carter and Orina's complex relationship is confronted with fresh difficulties. One choice has the power to alter everything when allegiances change and covert motivations are revealed. In this summary, we dissect Beth's shocking decision and its consequences, Beulah's succession plans, Rip's growing concerns about the future, Rob Will's dangerous return, Carter and Orina's next chapter. The biggest twists, clues, and theories heading into Episode 8. The title, A Monster is Among Us, in Episode 7 serves as a metaphor for the impending changes that the ranch faces, from environmental litigation and political betrayals to the actual appearance of an endangered grizzly bear on the site. As Case copes with a medical emergency and John's children fail to show up for him, the family structures continue to break down. 1. The tourists versus John Dutton. John Dutton in a tuxedo is seen traveling to the stockman's dinner at the beginning of the episode. He notices that a group of Chinese tourists are trespassing on his property in order to take up-close pictures of a grizzly bear in the wild. John becomes impatient when a tourist questions him by claiming that no single man should own so much land, and the group disregards his warnings about the danger. He drops the famous phrase, "This is America," as he shoots his rifle into the air, scattering them back onto the bus. Here, we don't share land. Taylor Sheridan didn't need to construct the future around a new character when the Yellowstone world needed someone to steer the franchise into its next phase. Beth Dutton was already a legend for him. That choice reveals a lot about what initially made Yellowstone such a phenomenon. Because of her vicious taunts, violent altercations, and unwavering determination to back down from anyone, Beth dominated discussions surrounding the series for years. Not to mention killing her brother. Beth frequently felt like the character that people talked about the most the morning after an episode aired, whether she was taking down a corporate rival or saying one of the most memorable lines in the franchise. The issue is that those exchanges finally turned into the whole discussion. Over time, Beth became a pop culture phenomenon thanks to her razor-sharp tongue. Fans praised her ability to demolish anyone who misjudged her, listed her finest insults, and shared her statements on social media. The reason Beth battled so hard in the first place was frequently overlooked in the process. That aspect of the character is at last brought back into prominence by Dutton Ranch. Beth has developed into something that television seldom permits female antiheroes to become, years after Yellowstone's premiere. She is still vicious. She continues to be scary. She still has the ability to verbally destroy anyone who enters a room believing they are in control. However, Dutton Ranch tackles dispute with a far calmer head as she completely reverses Yellowstone's most well-known, crazy Beth, clichés. The distinction is that she now has something more valuable to defend than just the ranch. Above all, Dutton Ranch demonstrates that harshness was never Beth's distinguishing trait. It was allegiance. Beth's fame came from Yellowstone, but not for the right reasons. Without a doubt, Beth became well-known due to Kelly Riley's performance and her attitude. Beth brought an intensity to Yellowstone that few television characters in recent years have equaled, whether she was confronting Jamie, taking down a business rival, or refusing to be frightened by anyone in a position of authority. She frequently departed scenes having completely changed the balance of power after entering them with total confidence. Analyzing Beth's most remarkable sayings. The most memorable quotes by Beth Dutton. Why it was memorable. The trailer park is you. The tornado is me. Perfectly conveys Beth's self-assurance and coercive strategies. Dipshit, I don't speak. Shows how she can use humor as a weapon right away. All I ask is that you outlive me so that I never have to go another day without you. Reveals the deep vulnerability she seldom lets anyone see. The version of Beth that most viewers instantly recall is reflected in the first two quotes. The third suggests that Dutton Ranch is at last delving deeper into its emotional core. At last, Dutton Ranch depicts Beth as a wife and mother. For years, Beth thought she would never be able to become a mother. Yellowstone's friendship with Carter allowed her to reveal a part of herself that was frequently obscured by her rage. In the new series, Kelly Riley adds amazing subtlety to this development. Her bond with Rip Wheeler has evolved into something enduring and firmly rooted, going beyond simple survival mode. Jenkins effectively transfers the conflict from local zoning boards to the federal government by portraying Johns River diversion as an ecological crime that directly threatened an endangered species. This is precisely why the grizzly bear was first on the ranch land, and why Rip's subsequent shooting of the bear in order to defend himself puts John Dutton in grave legal danger. The old Beth comes back when someone challenges her. Dutton Ranch is aware, of course, that viewers did not watch in the hopes that Beth would suddenly show compassion. Beth instantly reminds viewers why she became the franchise's face whenever someone walks into a room believing they can outwit or underestimate her. Beth won't give up any leverage, not even in the face of another alpha. In episode 3, Beth doesn't toss a drink or make a disturbance when Joaquin Reyes, Juan Pablo Raba, approaches her at a bar in Dallas. Instead, she calmly remarks that he reminds her of her father's lawyer, stopping the strong fixer in his tracks. It's a scary and targeted jab about Jamie that demonstrates her keen intuition. In a similar vein, Beth demonstrates that she is constantly one step ahead when negotiating her new relationship with Beulah Jackson, Annette Bening. Beth eventually accepts Beulah's subtle threats regarding Jamie's absence with a stoic expression after showboating her extensive research into the Jackson family history in order to acquire a profitable partnership in episode 5. Beth won't give up any leverage, not even against another alpha. Beth continues to research people. She continues to point out her shortcomings. When it comes to applying pressure, she still understands just how to do it. Now that Dutton Ranch is threatening to reveal Beth and Rip's greatest secret, this is extremely important because any mistake could destroy her the family she has at last created. The distinction is that she now has something more valuable to defend than just the ranch. Because of this, Beth is still essential to Yellowstone's future. Many of the characters from Yellowstone have come and gone. Fans loved a few of them. A few were vital to the ranch. However, Taylor Sheridan put Beth and Rip at the center of the narrative as the franchise entered its post-John Dutton phase. It's evident that Beth continues to be the unchallenged center of the contemporary chronology, even as Taylor Sheridan's long-delayed Yellowstone prequel series receives an intriguing new update. Beth's greatest insults took over the debate at one point. Dutton Ranch challenges that notion. Because she could ruin anyone with a single statement, the woman in the middle of Yellowstone was never interesting. She was intriguing because she had a source of anger. At her essence, Beth Dutton remains the same in the new series. It just allows a little more space for the character's deeper aspects. The woman no one should undervalue, Beth Dutton. One of the most powerful people in the Dutton community has always been Beth. Extremely bright, completely brave, and fiercely devoted to her family, she rarely backs down from a conflict and performs well under duress. Beth's ability to outsmart and outmaneuver her opponents when they least expect it is what makes her so dangerous, not just her quick wit or willingness to take chances. In episode 7, Beth's old fire rekindles when someone dares to question her authority and her role at the ranch. The self-assured, unrelenting woman who gained notoriety by facing formidable foes makes a triumphant comeback. Instead of backing down, she uses the altercation as a chance to show everyone why she is still one of the best players in the game. Years of adversity, personal grief, and struggles to defend those she loves are the sources of Beth's strength. Every obstacle she encounters seems to strengthen her resolve. Beth views herself as a guardian who will stop at nothing to ensure her family's future, despite the fact that others may perceive her as brutal. The attributes that fans adore most about Beth are highlighted in episode 7, her steadfast self-assurance, her courageous approach to conflict, her capacity to stay a few steps ahead, and her strategic mind, her intense devotion to Rip and the ranch, her resistance to be intimidated or controlled by others. The episode serves as a reminder that Beth gets even more dangerous when she is forced into a corner. Those who underestimate her frequently find that there is a very hefty cost associated with taking on Beth Dutton. Rip Wheeler, the silent power keeping everything together. Rip remains the Dutton Ranch's emotional and physical pillar in episode 7. Rip is committed to what he knows best, defending the ranch and upholding the Dutton legacy at all costs, while others quarrel, scheme, and struggle for dominance. Rip intervenes to keep things from getting out of hand even while tensions between several factions are rising. He doesn't hesitate to employ force to restore order when necessary, but his mere presence is sufficient to deter most threats. Rip's internal conflict is what distinguishes his involvement in this episode. He is torn between two worlds all the time, his steadfast devotion to the property and John Dutton, his passionate dedication to Beth and the life they are attempting to create together. Rip grows increasingly conscious of the fact that their world will never be at peace as outside pressure mounts around the ranch. Every choice he takes affects not only himself but also Beth and the Dutton organization as a whole. Rip also starts to wonder how long they can continue to live in this circle of violence and retribution in episode 7. But unlike others who talk about change, Rip is a man of action. If something poses a threat to the ranch, he takes immediate, decisive action. Rip serves as the ranch's first line of defense against both internal strife and external threats. Beth's anchor, despite Beth's volatile and explosive nature, Rip is still the only person who can emotionally stabilize her. Enforcer of order, Rip intervenes to re-establish order when things go out of hand. Silent strategist, although he doesn't say much, his choices have a significant impact on how things turn out. Emotional conflict holder, the harsh world he works in frequently conflicts with his love for Beth. Overall effects of episode 7. One important fact is reinforced by Rip's appearance in episode 7. Rip Wheeler's willingness to perform the difficult, frequently unsightly labor that no one else can, rather than politics or power struggles, is what keeps the Dutton Ranch afloat. He continues to be the silent storm behind all significant results. The fierce power struggle at the ranch continues in episode 7 as Beth and Rip attempt to establish themselves in a perilous new setting while long-standing rivalries start to erupt once more. As hostilities with opposing forces at the ranch increase, Beth takes on more leadership responsibilities. She won't back down when someone publicly questions her authority, and her vicious, old Beth side comes out. This results in a fierce altercation that unsettles everyone in her vicinity and solidifies her control over the ongoing struggle. Rip, meantime, continues to be the unwavering force that keeps everything together. He concentrates on control, protection, and preventing turmoil from getting out of control as political unrest and violence surround the ranch leadership. He is forced to choose between necessary violence and emotional restraint, which puts his devotion to Beth and the Dutton legacy to the test. In other areas, internal politics at the competing ranch are becoming more intense, particularly with regard to succession and control. It becomes difficult to determine who is genuinely trustworthy as new alliances, betrayals, and ulterior purposes emerge. The ranch is more divided than ever by the end of the show, with Rip's subdued enforcement and Beth's audacious acts laying the groundwork for an even more intense confrontation. With Beth regaining her fearless edge and Rip serving as the unseen guardian behind the mayhem, episode 7 is all about power struggles, mounting tension, and emotional strain.